Hi, this is Fan Pub. My name's Sean, this is Al, and we are back for another player profile video. And this is by request. We've been asked to cover off our thoughts around Kyler Murray, the rookie QB coming in this year for the Arizona Cardinals. There's going to be an interesting talking point, interesting player, and I want to know what your thoughts are first before I sort of give my sort of take on him for this season. What do you think? Fantasy-wise, of course.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about him, he's going to be a dual threat.
Yeah, that's always a shortcut to success in fantasy.
Because he's got wheels, doesn't he? He can really, I mean, he can run the ball. So you're going to get points from him running the ball. You know, he'll get a few touchdowns from running the ball, but he can also throw as well.
Yeah.
The problem is, my cons against him was obviously new quarterback to the league.
Yeah.
Lots of new moving parts on the offense. I mean, 3 or 4 rookie wide receivers they drafted.
They did, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be pick the bones out of that one.
I mean, they got the legend Larry Fitz. He'll never let you down. They got Christian Kirk,
who I think is really good for this year. I think he's looking good. I'm a bit worried that he was not going to shake his way out of a pack of these, but he looks like he has. So that's good news.
Yeah, so you'd expect Larry Fitz and
Christian Kirk to keep developing, and then we'll see who falls behind them to work their way into the lineup. But the key question is Kyler Murray for this season. What would you suspect? I mean, I got my thoughts around him.
If it was Dynasty, I'd be very keen on him.
Yeah, valid point.
In redraft, okay, but I think I'd rather, because I haven't seen enough of him yet in the NFL, I'd rather take the sure thing and take someone cheaper later.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
He's going QB 15, so
and it's again, that's okay, but I think that's still very high actually for a rookie coming in. 15 is really high when you consider this, right? Let's take Josh Allen, his current ADP. So if you compare those two, Allen's had a year in the league and has a measurable metric.
He's going QB 19,
right? So he's ahead of Allen without any sort of
and people like Trubisky.
Yeah, without any kind of NFL pedigree.
He's ahead of Philip Rivers
now,
who has got an NFL pedigree.
My argument is this, right? So this is where I kind of lie with this. See, I see Kyler Murray doing what most rookies do in their year one, which is this is in the air. We'll talk about the ground in a minute. He can get 2,000 to 2,500 yards is probably realistic because you've got to come in. There's going to be a learning curve. You can't expect to light the league up. These defenses don't operate the way you've seen in college. You're also playing more games, so that also has a grinding effect.
Yeah, new system,
brand new system. It's going to be a very high octane, quick tempo system, which actually is good in one hand, but means that the decision making has to be on point every time. And that's where more mistakes can creep in. And as a rookie, that's often the case. There's a learning curve.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me that even if we take the top end numbers, let's just say he gets 2,500 yards for argument's sake, and gets close to 20 touchdowns, which I think is very fair. In the air, that would be very good. But I suspect it's probably more like 17, 18 realistically, and probably quite close to that in interceptions actually year one, because this is a risk-taking quarterback. So this is a quarterback that's going to have to take some risks.
You do get QBs that come in and hit the ground running.
But he has one...
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he does have one key ingredient where everything could all fall for him. So if his running game is effective as effective as I think it's going to be, and his ability when the plays break down is as effective as I think it could be, then you are looking at a player that he has got a chance to deliver on his ADP and maybe a little bit more, because if we take 2,500 yards as a sort of a rough benchmark, approximately that's about 200 fantasy points roughly. You then sprinkle in the touchdowns, and even if I'm right with the numbers, that's going to put him just outside the pack numbers. But once you put those running numbers in, and I reckon he's good for 800 rushing yards and 6 to 8 scores, this quarterback could be in the 10. He could reach the top 10.
Is there because he's come from college, is there a chance they go to a run-pass offense, RPO offense, like the Ravens did? Because he's got sneaky wheels. David Johnson, another great running back.
Yeah, I think the problem is I would be.
But he's got a bit more throwing wise.
I would be more all in on this if the team had like an offensive line I trusted. If the team had pieces I was confident. They had a defense I thought could hold back an offense. If there were things that I felt could work, but I think this is going to be a real tough ask, because there will be games where they are well behind, and then what do? I mean, you can't continue to quarterback run. I mean, For me, it's easy when you talk about these kind of special players. The defense has to do one thing, and it is an advantage to the quarterback. But
doesn't the
first year.
QB make things happen?
He has to. Yeah, he has to make.
You
things
look at Mahomes last year. A few times he's in trouble. He gets himself.
This
out.
is how I.
When you're quick.
This is how I would operate if I'm a coordinator looking at a player like this coming into the league. The first thing is that I won't take anything for granted. So I'm not going to assume just because he's a rookie he's rubbish. I've seen him throw, and I think he's exceptionally good. And he plays bigger than his frame. He's much bigger than 5'10". The way he throws the ball, you'd think he was 6'5".
Yeah.
I mean, I've no issue with mechanics. I think he is going to be a very, very interesting player to watch. He's got all the wheels. He could do anything. Could be another Michael Vick-esque kind of player. It's possible, but you've got to show it. Yeah. But my worry would be I would always have a spy in the backfield.
Yeah,
for
you've
him.
got to.
And that spy will either stay in the middle if he's dropping back, you stay in the middle and you just observe and then move as the quarterback moves to try and take away that. Not all you can't always because they're so quick, they're quicker than you. But the idea is to angle it so you get a chance to have a hit on him and slow him down, kind of thing, or stop him. And if he divers slightly and you're able to go for him, then you go for him. So you've got to play that with these kind of quarterbacks. And if they do revert to the RPO formation, you don't change that philosophy. I think one thing that's being missed at the moment are RPOs. RPO is a great system, but coordinators are now adjusting, defensive coordinators are adjusting to it, and there's going to be more corner blitz / safety blitz packages that are built in to pressure you to make an instant
But
reaction.
if you're a good offensive coordinator,
yeah,
you'll know this is coming and have a plan for it.
you have to always overthink.
It's one step ahead.
Yeah, you've always
like
got
our podcast.
You've always got to overthink it. Yeah, I mean he is exceptional. So as I say, if you put 800 yards together and 6 to 8 scores on top of the passing, then this is a guy who could finish inside the top 10. So that's a different ballgame entirely.
So would you be happy to draft him? Is my question.
Okay, so his ADP today is
his ADP
exactly as ADP.
104.
So
QB 15.
See, the problem I have with 104 is simple. 104 is 10 rounds in a small league. If you're talking a 10-man league, that's still high. If you're talking a big league, well, you really want me to draft him inside those rounds? I can't do it. So no is the answer. There are other quarterbacks I would trust ahead of him at this moment in time. I will let other people take the risk. If he was my second quarterback, so if there was a situation where he fell, and that can happen in some leagues because people don't put a premium on the quarterbacks, and he might well drop a few rounds. Sure, as a second, I'll happily take that punt and have a go.
He's somebody that could hit a high ceiling.
Just don't want him in the big ones and especially in the small ones. I don't want him as my number one. I want him as my number two with the chance of him being bigger, playing bigger than what everyone
thinks. Say if he was going QB 20, 25,
yeah,
which, with all respect, most rookie QBs coming into the league.
I would happily take him down there. And I think,
but he's not, is he? You're already paying quite.
You're paying a very high premium. My thing is with him is really simple. As a second quarterback, the reason I like having players like him as a second is if my first is an okay quarterback, packed quarterback that can do serviceable numbers, having a guy that is a rookie that's coming in who could massively exceed his metrics, give me an opportunity. Some weeks into the league, it'll be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, suddenly he goes on a run and you think, now's the time to plug him in. Or you could reach a game where you think, oh, I'm actually the underdog by quite a margin here. So the only I've got to take a chance. So if I'm going to take a chance, roll the dice at QB.
Either way, if he comes good, and I did this with Trubisky last year, I drafted him in quite a few leagues. Well, 2 of our big leagues, and I traded him in both because he had some massive weeks.
You traded at the right point.
And he had massive weeks. I mean, he was top 10 QB.
When you can run the way this guy can,
he's a trading piece.
You're going to get some serious fancy numbers at times. But the worry is that there will be a learning curve, and it's just a question of when and how long and what happens. He does play a tiny bit cavalier, although I will say this, thank God, he slides beautifully. I mean, he's one of these quarterbacks who's very, very intelligent, high intelligent, doesn't. Some people slide and they're almost risking their knees every time. This guy, he's just very quick, gets down very low. If anybody hits him on the way down, the way he slides, he's on the ground so quick. If you hit him a fraction after he's down, it's a 15-yard on top of the run. So
he's highly intelligent.
Yeah, very quick.
He can throw pretty deep. I mean, he's really quick.
I like the intelligence. You can see it. The QB intelligence is really, really high.
He's going to be a good QB long term.
I think he's going to be exceptional. I think we could be looking at him in year 2 and going, that's a redraft.
He'd be in the top 10.
That's a guy you want that could do something special.
He could really come on and then be a top 10.
It's a bit like talking about Josh Allen for this year. A lot of people like him as a sneaky dark horse because people are seeing what we saw.
I think you do.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's sneaky because he does things that no one thought he could do. So he runs really well. he can pass, and as the accuracy issues become a distant memory, as things get better, then
Well, he's
sky's the
actually
limit.
got some deep weapons now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got to show this year. He's got to show.
Anyway, that's for another video.
Yeah,
So you're cautiously optimistic.
won't pay the ADP as it stands, but
if he falls, then
often
maybe.
quarterbacks don't actually go at their ADP.
Yeah, 'cause
More often
everyone
than
wants
not,
them late,
everybody
don't they?
waits late, so
And then
that's
there's a
good.
run.
And then there's a run. So if you can get him later, and as a second QB, not your first off the board, that's fine. There's absolutely no problem for me. I'm okay with that. If you've got another guy ahead of him, but you don't want to, you don't want to take him at his ADP again. If you can get value, the lower the down, the better. Why not? Why not take a shot as your second? It's a great one because you can just roll the dice. And I always recommend that sometimes. You're up against it. Somebody just happens to have a better player, a better team, or you have a player on a bye week. One of the quickest ways to make up some points. Great quick QB play.
Yeah, so he will be a top player is what we're saying.
Got
in
the
the
potential
future,
for the future. For Dynasty, yeah, absolutely, as you say. And he has gone in a lot of our leagues in Dynasty. He went very high, and rightly so. Because
I've seen quite a few.
I think he went about
Dynasty
12, 10, 12. He started going in
I've
the
seen
end.
him go at 2.
Yeah, well.
I know he wasn't even a 2 QB league.
And
That
that's
somebody
fair
was
enough.
QB needy, and
Yeah,
I
and
don't
he
know why they
want to-
didn't trade back. But
Well,
they,
they probably thought they couldn't risk. They didn't know where to trade back to because they weren't sure what others
You
would.
never know, do you? They never know who's sneaking around. I've seen him go at 4 as well.
But then people use it against you, and then you have to pay an even higher premium than 102 rookie
Yeah.
pick. Yeah, that's
just
fair.
get what you need. Okay, so what do you think? I mean, do you think Kyler Murray's going to light up the league first year, or would it take a bit more time?
I think there'll be patches, and that's my view, but we'll see what you think because that's more important, and we really appreciate the questions on these players, so keep them coming.
If you've enjoyed it, leave a like as usual. If you enjoyed the series, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next time.
See you next time.